Greetings, colleagues. It's a great privilege to be with you today. I'm joined by our Chief Executive Officer, Lee White, and we're here to tell you a little bit more about this exciting global campaign, Everything Needs Accounting. Lee, we're in a moment of truly unprecedented change in our profession and in the context in which we operate. Why is it that you believe this is the moment for a global campaign like Everything Needs Accounting?
Thank you, Bruce. And I really come today very much in the spirit of what you've just said to explain to all that we have a great opportunity for our profession, but we need to take the right steps at the right time to ensure we get the outcomes we're looking for. We need engagement with the next generation of talent. Now, we've all made good strides in doing this in previous times, but here is the opportunity when truly all of us who operate in the global profession come together with one consistent message: everything needs accounting.
And maybe on that note, this campaign has had an interesting origin story, right? A very global origin story. Could you tell us a little bit about the role that IFAC and the GPPC have played?
Sure, and I think this is really down to when I'm saying trying to join up an integrated approach across our profession. So the GPPC, the 6 largest global firms, have come together. They've seen the drivers of trying to bring in the better talent into the profession. And in generating the material they've done, they've said, well, we shouldn't just be for our purposes, our firms. We need this to go out through the profession. Let's work closely with IFAC. And so for me as the CEO of IFAC, this is a wonderful opportunity, but I've got to express my sincere and genuine appreciation to each and every one of the CEOs of those firms for the commitment and the investment they're making to the future of our profession. So Bruce, let's go a little bit deeper now to the campaign. Importantly, who do you see as the target audience of the campaign, and how will you get to that target audience?
Yeah, so the target audience is very much the 16 to 18-year-old age group, and much of the research that underlies this campaign and that led to the concept really was focused on talking to 16 to 18-year-olds, understanding what it is that they are looking for in career choices. We also think about it from a secondary perspective as those who influence that group of 16 to 18-year-olds. So their parents, their teachers, and other influencers. So that's the real primary audience. And it really is about trying to understand what's going to inspire them and how are we going to help them to understand the opportunity that a career in accountancy can bring.
Thank you. But let me just go a little further. You were talking about the survey. Where was that survey occurring? Where did you gather that data from?
So this was work done through a creative agency that did this work on behalf of the firms. And they worked through a bunch of different survey instruments, including surveys, focus groups, particularly with the 16 to 18-year-old age group.
From around the globe?
From around the globe, so focused on some of the larger markets around the globe, but trying to get a broad range of perspectives and ready to understand what's that connective tissue, that global picture, that thing that links the needs of this group across jurisdictions. So of course there's local specificities, but this really was looking at what's that common ground that is consistent for this age group. And this has all led to understanding about how young people are particularly driven by their skills and their interests. Purpose, exactly. And they're wanting to pursue a career that can have that alignment. And so this idea of putting your passion to work is really what came out through this research.
And was there any themes around technology? Because you often feel that that's really an attractive part.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is about trying to play this game of recognizing that there is some dialogue out there in the community of technology, perhaps replacing the role of accountants. I think those of us in the profession understand that actually technology is just the most incredible enabler and actually opens up more opportunities. And so within this campaign, there's this element of really telling that story as well.
And dispelling the myths.
Exactly. And saying, it's, this idea that the technology is going to help you to deal with the data and then leave the decision making to you. And the role that you can play as an accountant in taking the information that's coming from these systems, working with it alongside you and being able to do meaningful work with it.
Understood. Now, let me just shift a little bit, because we know our members, the IFAC members, have all for many, many years run fantastic campaigns all about looking to attract the next generations of talent. Standing back, why do you feel we're in a point where we actually will not only leverage what's been done, but make some sort of different impact into what's occurring?
This is so importantly, I think, for all members to understand, this is not about replacing work that you've already done. This is meant to be complementary. This is meant to be about saying, local efforts combined with a global perspective and that global messaging can strengthen this broader effort to reach this next generation. So this is really about coming in and trying to complement the great work that already happens in countries. And I think this is part of what makes this campaign really unique. It is truly global. It's also got an element of being able to be customized and adapted to the local context. So there is room to do that. But the opportunity to drive a campaign that is truly global and sends this message to young people that we are connected as a global profession. We know who we are and we see a future for them as part of this profession long term.
Yeah, when you stand back and think, you've got 6 largest firms, all with their expertise and reach, 188 members within the IFAC family around the globe. The amplification, if we get this right, the amplification is going to be incredibly strong, and that's what you need to penetrate to the next generation.
So we really believe that the success of this campaign is going to be driven by collective amplification. That collective amplification coming from a global perspective, all of us cooperating. Same messaging, consistency throughout, but also stakeholders working together for the betterment of the broader profession. I'm really interested, in your leadership here at IFAC, you've really pushed us on this journey of being better together. So when you think about collective amplification, as this heads out into jurisdictions, what do you think we should be doing? What does that look like for you and for your colleagues who lead the profession around the world?
In a simple way to respond to that, Bruce, we all tell and explain the same message simply, with passion, which we all bring to wanting to attract the next generation. But if we do it simply and consistently, with our element of passion, I think that's the way in which we absolutely win this battle.
I think, isn't it fantastic the way the firms have taken leadership on this from the very beginning?
Very much.
And have said, this is something that we need to tackle together. And this has been some of the great privilege, I suppose, sitting on the IFAC side and having this investment that's gone in, but been welcomed into this process. And this really is the vision. I think we have this combined vision with the firms, with IFAC, and we hope that all of you as our members can also really buy into this, because there's a huge opportunity to have a
fully agree. Impact. And, I'd be as bold to say it's probably one of those most unique opportunities where all of us come together with the same focus, and we can't afford not to use that opportunity. It's so important. I see ourselves as, in effect, guardians of our profession, and one of the key roles as a guardian of profession is to bring the next generation and the next generation of talent in. And the aspiration is this is what will convert through this campaign. So, Bruce, ultimately the success of the campaign, of the steps we take after the campaign, is for all of us, all of our members coming together and enjoying in what they're doing. How do you feel? Are we feeling in a way that this will leverage what we need to achieve?
Absolutely. I think the key here, Lee, is we're calling on our members to really be leaders and to be leaders in their jurisdictions, in their context, convening stakeholders together around this. So just as we've had on the global level, this collaborative working between the firms and between IFAC, really see this now transitioning over to the local level, with PAOs being really at the center of convening the key stakeholders, including local firms. And I should note that from the global firm side, the messaging around this campaign is filtering down to their networks. And so they may already be aware of this when you engage them. There's an opportunity for PAOs to be at the center of convening those stakeholders, the firms and others. And then doing the work of going down this journey of saying, okay, let's take these assets that have been created. Yep. Let's think about how they're going to work in our context. Where's the expertise that we've got across this collaborative group who can help get everything ready? There might be a little bit of customization for local context, preparing assets, maybe getting your creative agency to support you. I should note there's certainly a bit of cost involved here. Yep. We want to recognize that. There's a cost involved in adapting the assets. There's a cost involved in potentially placing adverts where young people are, so purchasing advertising on social media platforms.
But that's, in reality, a lot of what our members would be already doing. So we're not actually saying it's all new investment, but it might be somewhat of an exchange of how that investment's being used.
Exactly. And perhaps the unique part here is saying you don't have to go it alone on this.
Sure.
The real magic is if you can bring the whole profession along together and think about really lifting up the future of the profession as a collective across your jurisdiction.
So a couple of questions. If I'm a CEO of one of the members of IFAC, I might say, well, I've already got campaigns occurring here, similar but not the same. Do I really need to change what I'm doing? How would you respond to that?
Definitely don't change what you're doing, but think about how this can amplify what you're doing and how it can support you. How can this global messaging add to the great work you're doing currently? I think about this campaign as being not necessarily the campaign that leads to a clear call to action from a young person immediately, but it's a campaign that has been structured such that it can frame a young person's understanding of what accounting is and the opportunity it presents. That can prime their mind for when you come with your other campaigns that lead to a call to action, say sign up for the qualification or sign up for to study accounting at university, or pursue an opportunity with a firm. But this is coming almost ahead of that, and this is an opportunity to really reshape the narrative about what accounting is, and for us as a global profession to take ownership of that, and for the individual PAOs to be able to own that conversation in the local markets.
And Bruce, again, if I was a PAO and say, okay, well, what is IFAC? You're sending me the materials. What other ways or resources or assets can you help as I want to, take up this campaign?
Yeah, certainly we stand ready to support in any way we can as our members go on this journey. There's going to be some additional resources that'll come out together with this video that you're watching. You'll be receiving a toolkit that has everything, all the assets that are part of the campaign, but also various guidance materials that support, they tell the story of the research and how we arrived at this campaign. There's various guidance around the creative concept and how to use that and how to keep the consistency. As we've mentioned, there's opportunities to customize, but there's that kind of consistent look and feel that's really important. All of that information is available. And there'll be another video as well where I'll be talking through just how to use that toolkit. And so your teams can use that to get
And early champions, will you look towards some of the membership who perhaps will go early and be able to share their experiences, both good and challenging?
Absolutely. We really want members to tell us the story of how they're going on this journey. We've looked at an earliest date for activations around the world of June 1st. So we ask if everyone can respect that as an earliest date to start. But after that, we really encourage members to move as quickly as you can. Yeah. But we want to then celebrate success and we want to tell the story. And for those of our members who want to really be at the forefront of this, please lead and we will help you tell the story so we can inspire the rest of the community to get on board so we can truly have this global impact.
Okay, Bruce, so now to the action part in particular. What are the 2 or 3 main messages about next steps for our members?
So start off by heading to where you received this video. You're going to find additional information, links to be able to get access to the full toolkit.
Right.
As part of that, there's another video where, as I mentioned earlier, I'll talk you through the assets and how you can navigate that and all the tools that are available to support you and your teams. So that's the first aspect. The next aspect is please do that work to convene stakeholders in your country, firms and others, to think about how you can go on a collective amplification approach to activating this campaign. We truly believe that if we come together as a collective in countries, we can have an even bigger impact, and that global impact can be even bigger. So we really do encourage that collaborative approach to the extent that is possible within jurisdictions. And then, of course, just if you could respect the embargo in terms of timing, June 1st being the earliest date. And just keep in mind throughout this is really for the betterment of the profession as a whole. This is not the moment where we're competing with one another. This is the moment where we're working together to secure the future of our profession. So Lee, maybe as we wrap up, this campaign is all about everything needs accounting. I know you've had an amazing career journey as an accountant. It's opened up many doors for you. Why would you say this idea of everything needs accounting is the right one? Why does everything need accounting?
I think, Bruce, the beauty of what I hear when I hear that campaign is not only its simplicity, but it's truth.
Yeah.
That and the way in which sometimes our profession is portrayed as being somewhere in the back area, the back office perhaps of thriving businesses, but the only reason the businesses are thriving is because they have very sound accounting supporting the activities. And therefore, success for business, success in all parts of aspects of the community, everything needs accounting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And when I think about it, every successful entrepreneur has an accountant behind them, every successful nonprofit, every successful public sector organization.
Sporting organization, the full way. Yeah.
Anything a young person could be passionate or interested in, there's an accounting element to this, and we want to tell that story. Well, thank you, Lee, and thank you to you, our members, for being a part of this conversation and for working through this video and being excited about this campaign with us. We genuinely cannot wait to see what you are going to do with this campaign and how it's going to come alive in your jurisdictions. And we stand ready to tell the story of why collective amplification has led to a truly global impact and reframing the way accounting is viewed around the world. Please do share your stories with us as you progress, and anything we can do to help you, the IFAC team is standing ready to support. But most importantly, tell us your stories. Let's go on this journey together, and let's reframe accounting and show the world that everything needs accounting.